Exxon Mobil facing pressure from activist investment firm Engine No. 1 with support from pension fund CalSTRS. In a letter, Engine No. 1 urges the oil giant to better position itself for long-term sustainable value creation. Those plans include refreshing the board, Engine No. 1 suggesting 4 new directors, cutting back on aggressive spending, implementing a clean energy plan and overhauling management compensation. Exxon says they have received the letter and are reviewing it. Joining us now is Chris Ailman, Chief Investment Officer at CalSTRS. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris. Great to have you on in light of this letter. Is this overall something you guys have been thinking about for a long time? Have you put these points of view across to the company and failed to get a response, leading to this more sort of public criticism?
Wilford, you hit it on the head. It's recognizing that we're becoming activist shareholders. We have been very active with a group called the Climate Action 100 Plus in engaging with Exxon very unsuccessfully, sadly, for a number of years of trying to get their attention, trying to change their behavior. And on those highlights, those bullet points, I'd really focus in on the capital allocation plan. This company is just throwing money after projects that are not going to be successful, and it really does need to turn around.
Chris, you mentioned capital allocations, one of the factors, but you also mentioned their climate change, and you've engaged on that topic with them. It's one of the 4 key bullet points in the letter: more investment in clean energy, commit to meeting emission reduction targets, etc. It does sound a bit odd that you're criticizing an oil company for not meeting climate initiatives. Why not just sell the stock?
You know, that's what the divestment crowd would like us to do. And the problem is, Wilford, that just turns our back on the problem. They just keep on going and they use other people's capital. We want this company to change from within. In life, if we want to bring about change in any life, in our lives, it's all about engagement. It's about talking to people and getting them to wake up and change their behavior. When I think about Exxon Mobil, it's a company that has been focused in on drilling for every last molecule of carbon. They need to wake up and recognize the future is different. We want it to become an energy company. And I think that's the real nuance, Wilford, is get out of the oil and gas focus and get into the energy focus, as we're starting to see many of their global competitors do.
But to push back on that or provide the different point of view, you mentioned you've already tried to engage with them on climate and failed to see what you want to happen. Isn't the only next step to vote with your feet and sell your very significant holding, I think over $300 million, which itself would put a lot of pressure on the board because it would likely pressure the share price to the downside?
I wish that was true, Wilford, but honestly, and we've done divestments. We've done over 6 different divestments for over 20 years. None has brought about social change or change in the company. When we sell our shares, somebody else just buys them. We don't dump them in the market in a protest. We sell them as a fiduciary. It's not a simple answer. There is an intermediate step. So we've been approaching them as a shareholder with shareholder resolutions and engaging management. Well, now that's got to change, and we're stepping up. So we're supporting Engine 1 in their effort to change the board, to change the tone at the top and wake this company up. They've got a great board of CEOs from other industries, none of them with expertise in oil and gas. And frankly, they're not thinking about the future. They're burying their head into what they've known in the past and not recognizing the future is changing. If, as a large shareholder, as a pension plan for teachers, we want the future to change, we've got to talk to people. We've got to engage with them, not just turn our back and ignore the problem. Divesting and just dumping your shares is equivalent to just disappearing and ignoring a problem and hoping it goes away, or somebody else steps up to deal with it.
Well, the share price has fallen significantly, so you have that going for you, Chris. But you mentioned, so you have a $300 million stake. Reportedly, Engine No. 1 only has about a $40 million stake. So together, it's not that much when it comes to creating major activist changes and board members for a company that's valued at what, almost $200 billion?
Sarah, you've nailed it on the head. There's the challenge that lies before us, and especially in front of Engine 1. I mean, the key people are talking to the 3 major index funds, and we hold this stock because we hold it in our index fund. But talking to Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, SSGA, State Street Global is going to be critical. Talking to the proxy advisors is going to be critical. And talking to their retirees. There are a ton of retirees that own this stock because of that high dividend. Well, I got to tell you, that dividend is threatened. Management even knows that. And unless they do a better job of capital allocation, changing the future of their company, that dividend is going to be slashed. And so I cannot emphasize enough. This is the time to take strong, bold action. So for us, we feel this is strong, bold action of asking for a change at the top and suggesting that other people take a look at this.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.